So, Jean, we think of Barfoot and Thompson as a company, obviously very tied to the real estate market in Auckland. We only ever hear the media talking about the numbers side, and I think it would be interesting to talk a bit about the back end of how this brand works. With the growth, of course, you've seen phenomenal growth, but just take us back a little bit to the origins of the company. It goes back to prior to the Depression, and obviously real estate has changed a lot in that time. What's been some of the key drivers for Barfoot and Thompson from a marketing standpoint?
Sorry.
That's all right.
From 1923?
Yeah, that's right. I think probably, obviously,
Okay.
yeah. Let me start that again. That's probably a bit wider frame of a canvas. So Jean, when we think of Barfoot and Thompson as a real estate agent, a company that's very much the forefront of the property sector in Auckland, what are some of those aspects of driving a business like this from a brand perspective that makes that important from where you sit?
Well, certainly over the years, the marketing of property, which really is fundamental to our business, has changed out of sight. I mean, back in 1923, when the business was first started, there were no open homes, there were no for sale signs, there was certainly no online ads, and so things have changed completely with the introduction of everything from newspapers to the internet. So and our brand has developed over those years as well. Fundamentally, our business is about people. It's about human beings building relationships with other people, and you will know as well as I that for most people in New Zealand, selling their home is selling the biggest asset that they will ever have. So they want to be able to eyeball a person and build a relationship with that person, and that's really where our brand is built every day, with our salespeople meeting other people and selling homes. The things that we do for the brand outside of that is really just to support that piece of the business.
So just explain that structure in terms of how you work. So the Barfoot and Thompson brand obviously is the overarching brand, and then you've got salespeople working on commission. So how does all that link together?
Well, Barfoot and Thompson is still owned by the Barfoot and Thompson families. So it's a non-franchised private company, and all of our branches are wholly owned by the company, and our salespeople, as you say, are independent contractors and work on commission. So they are all responsible to the brand, of course, but yeah, we are one company and one brand.
Obviously, very competitive business, and it's a business that, as you say, has a lot of emotional attachment to it. So, how have you built the brand to where it is at the moment?
Can I think about that?
Yeah.
Blimey. That's a massive question. I thought we were talking about IT.
Yeah,
I feel a bit unprepared for this.
Yeah, all right, okay. Let me just kind of. I'll bring that question back a little bit. I'll just pick up from that. So obviously, when you think about the growth of all of those new selling options that you mentioned, and particularly with an IT focus, how have you changed the approach of the business from an IT perspective? What have been some of those drivers that you now use, and how have they been used to best effect?
Well, certainly in recent years, the pace of change in marketing and its move much closer to IT has accelerated. So, back a few years ago, we just talked about radio advertising and print advertising and TV and what have you. But the channels to market now for us are so much broader than that, and more reliant on IT. So certainly for the last sort of 4 or 5 years, we've been very focused on understanding the environment and understanding where our customers are and what their needs are in that more technical space, and working really hard to build a bridge with the technical guys and understand the IT implications for the marketing that we're delivering every day.
And just explain how you did that, because you're quite innovative in terms of how you actually brought marketing and IT together.
Yeah, so we moved into our new building in October of 2012. And prior to that, IT were on the 6th floor of our building and we were on the 4th floor. So there was a lot of running up and down of stairs. And certainly with our website, the website in most businesses is the place where the marketing and IT teams are straddled. And so working with the web team and starting to understand the technical complexities of that, we were running up and down those stairs more and more. So when we had the opportunity to move to Shortland Street and move into this new building, we lobbied quite hard for IT and marketing to be on the same floor, and now we are neighbours, which has enabled us to communicate significantly more. We see each other all of the time. Our CIO and I have daily conversations about the projects that we're working on together.
And therefore, that came from the two of you bringing it together, or was that a sort of an edict from a more strategic level?
Look, I think the business strategically understands the need for the two areas to be side by side. But I was really lucky to have a CIO in Simon Casey who had worked quite closely with marketing teams in previous roles, and it was really forward thinking from that respect, and it was really championed by him.
A lot of companies, as we know, of course, struggle in this area. IT tends to dictate the terms. So how do you work if it's on a collaborative basis, as you've explained?
We have challenging conversations. Look, we're really focused on delivering the best value to our customers, whether they're internal customers or external customers. And I think whenever we have challenges and difficult conversations, we always pull ourselves back to that. Like, why are we doing this and where is the value? And am I still going to fight for my siloed corner or am I not? And I think that we, over the years that we've been building this relationship, have got really good at making our customer the really clear focus of those conversations and of the projects that we're delivering. I do think, though, that there's been a real journey from my team's perspective in terms of understanding IT and understanding the complexities of the things that they have to deal with. If we deliver a campaign and we've spent months thinking about it and developing it and it hits the paper and it's a complete flop, we can just pull the ads, we don't have to run it anymore, and we can lick our wounds and move on. But with IT, that the planning and the thinking around all of the detail and the specifics are hugely important, because it'll take 6 months to build, it'll cost a lot of money, and once it's in, the expectation is that it will last for 2 or 3 years. You don't want to have a flop. So we work quite hard now to understand the technical complexities of the things that we're asking our IT team to deliver, and they have worked really hard to understand our need for change now, and also understand our way of working in our language.
Have you found, in practical day-to-day terms, has it improved the speed of delivery as well too?
Yeah, I think so. And I think too with new development pathways and agile development and all of that sort of thing, that IT development has moved closer to how we would like to do things. So it has made it easier for us to have the right conversations and probably to deliver the right tools rather than speeding it up. We're probably just delivering more of the right stuff.
So are you innovating ideas and then going to IT and saying, how about this? Or are they doing the same thing in reverse? Are you both working within that kind of framework?
Yeah, a bit of both. I mean, a lot of our stuff comes from, we've got this campaign, we want to reach out to our customers in this way. How do we do that? How do you deliver it? In the end, so much of our marketing stuff now is reliant on IT delivery. Even something as simple as a campaign that you want to deliver display ads on a website, you've got to have content for it to click through to. The analytics have got to be set up right so that you can measure what kind of impact you're having. From something as simple as that right through to, let's have this app for iPad, what's it going to do?
Of course, we mentioned that the competitive nature of it. You're obviously keeping one eye over your shoulder all the time, looking at what your competitors are doing. How much is everybody basically doing the same, and how much do you think your particular style is perhaps different from others in the industry?
I think that there are certain things in our industry that we have to deliver, and to deliver the right kind of value for our clients. We have to have the platforms that will market their properties to the most amount of people that we possibly can, both in New Zealand and overseas. And I think that all agencies are really focused on that. Where I think that we are different and are able to innovate is that we have a understanding in our business at the highest level that IT and the services that we provide internally to our salespeople as customers, but also externally, can be a real competitive advantage for us. We have a growing, or a big IT team and growing one, and a real focus on making sure that we are delivering tools that make the lives of our customers easier.
How much do you research your customers in terms of, I guess, continuing to understand the value proposition that you're offering?
Regularly. And we have quite a number of different things in place where we are on a regular basis asking our customers how we've gone with certain things, certainly with our service, but through that process ask them where we can improve. When we make changes to our website, we do user testing. So we just last year did quite a big UX piece and tested our app and our website, and I think sometimes that you get so close to it that you don't see the really simple things, and we got quite far down the track and realised that right at the very beginning of the journey there was a piece that we needed to change. So we made quite a few quick changes which had an immediate impact, which was great, and looking to roll out the larger scale changes from that testing later this year.
What's the part of the process that you're most proud of in terms of that joint collaboration, in terms of a particular initiative or something that springs to mind about where that partnership worked really effectively in terms of delivering an output?
I think that the joint ownership of the online strategy has been a real win for us. We worked collaboratively with the teams to really get that right and really incorporate into that a strong marketing focus, but a really strong platform and basis of IT as well. So I feel really proud of that document and proud of where it's taking us.
And in terms of that growth potential in the future, is it all about, because as the market leader, the dominant leader, of course, it's about holding share. How do you continue to grow in a business like this that's obviously pretty mature as it stands?
I think a key thing is really just continuing to understand the nature and needs of a changing customer base. Our customers are more online than ever before, and the online environment is changing all of the time, and the places they're going online are changing, and the things that they need and the ways they want to interact and the amount of information and the type of information. And really it's just about us understanding as much of that as possible and finding ways to deliver information to them that is going to be of value, and through which they can see us as the experts in property in Auckland.
When you look at that, what are customers most demanding around? I mean, they obviously want the best price for the sale, but what else do you find in that sales process that they are particularly demanding about?
Well, because it is one of the biggest financial decisions most people will make, they are really looking for a lot of reassurance around making a decision, and they want to know how much they're likely to get for their property. What have other properties sold for around the area? What is the market doing? How is my area different to the area down the road? If I change this about my house, is it going to have a positive or negative impact? So, and also I think too that people are generally not in the market that often. They're not always selling homes, and so each time it can be a new experience, and they need to understand the market afresh. And so it's making sure that we have that information available to them in an easy to digest way that's going to add some value to their journey, but make it easier for them, and also show that we're the people that know how to do all of this and have the services to help them through that process.
Word of mouth obviously would be an important aspect of a business like this, that clearly would be something which you'd be very conscious of the whole time.
Oh, absolutely, and certainly with the online and social environment these days, all brands and all companies are exposed in that way more than ever before, and we certainly take our responsibilities in that area really seriously. Our salespeople are more and more tapping into those kinds of social channels to build a base of people who know them and who understand the value of the work that they do, and will support them or recommend them or review them, and what have you. So yeah, absolutely.
So in that social media space, that is really being undertaken by your agents as opposed to the corporate brand itself.
We do have a corporate position in the social media, but really the value for our business and those kinds of spaces, it's an online expression of your offline relationships, and people generally don't have a relationship with the Barfoot and Thompson brand. The major relationship the major relationship that they have when they interact with us is with the person that is selling their home. So it makes sense that is the person that they have the relationship with when they're online, when they're in a social environment online.
What's your big plan about where you'd like to take the brand in the future? What are some of those tracking signs telling you about where you might have to be continuing to expand from a marketing perspective in the future?
Well, we're always looking at the environment and what is changing in the environment, and our business is an interesting one because while people are more online, while we're talking about content-led marketing and all of that sort of thing, all of the new tools, there is still this really strong base for us as a business and our salespeople and real estate in communities. And yes, we're looking at content-led marketing. Yes, we are looking at making our website the place to come for information for property in Auckland, but we're also very keen on making sure that our branches are really visible and that the people within them are working in a community and building those relationships.
And in terms of the learnings from that idea of bringing marketing and IT together for other businesses that are thinking about that collaborative approach, what advice might you give in that area about some of the pitfalls to be aware of?
I think that it's taking the first step and reaching out, and whether it's the marketing person that does that or the IT person that does it, it's about starting the conversation. And we started the conversation. It just so happens that we managed to keep talking for quite a few years, and it's been a really amazing journey. It has been challenging, but I think that if I come back to what I said about us really putting the customer, whether it's the internal customer or the external customer, at the centre of everything that we do, then we can take our marketing and IT hats off and really look to focus on delivering value to the business through that collaboration. But I think it's about both departments making the effort to understand the language of the other and the work practices of the other, but also letting go of your own jargon as well.
And clearly you wouldn't go back to what you had before.
I don't know that we'd really be able to deliver the marketing that we need to if we hadn't got to where we've got to. So yeah, absolutely.